Kat.
Hi, Rachel.
Welcome back to the sofa.
Thanks for tolerating me.
It is a hardship, I tell you. We're here today because I think you have got something you need to get out to the world. You need to
Yeah,
unbottle yourself.
I think it's time for another of my rants, really. Now, I've actually got quite a few, but they're
Oh,
all
goody.
around the same theme, and it's a theme we're both passionate about. There's a couple of things about food that just really
Okay.
piss me off. Some
Mm-hmm.
of these are going to be unpopular opinions, and you know what? That's fine. It's my opinion, so, whatever. But we will make a start. So I'm going to start with a fairly strong statement. Oreos suck.
No, I'm
They
not
are
having that.
no,
No,
they
mm-mm.
Oreos are So hear me out. So they were first invented, they first came into production in 1912, right? So that's 108 years that they've been making shit tier biscuits.
Well,
Just
clearly they're
horrific.
not, because otherwise they would not have been made for 108 years. They would not have been successful enough to continue for 108 years.
I'll tell you for why that's happened. Because they're in America and Americans don't understand biscuits, right? They still think they're called cookies and they still think cookies encompasses all kinds of biscuit. So you can't trust Americans when it comes to biscuit opinions here. So that's completely invalid. Now, the reason why they have become so permeated into UK cuisine recently is just due to economics. So there's lots of kind of interesting, if you're into that kind of thing, buyouts. So basically, it's a division of Mondelez now owns Cadbury and Kraft and all these different things and Nabisco, and it's all together in one big messy bundle, which means they're doing a lot more tie-ins. So our beautiful British decent chocolate, our dairy milk chocolate, is now being fucked up by shitty Oreos.
No,
Like
no,
Oreos and
no,
dairy milk,
no, no, no,
disgusting.
no, no, no.
Wasting my
Dairy
time.
Milk Oreo is amazing.
Foul.
It's so good. I don't understand how you can say it's bad. How
It's
can
an
your taste buds
absolute
be that wrong?
It's an absolute sacrilege. And the
No,
thing
it's
is,
not.
people see it.
Mm-mm.
It's almost been marketed as like a premium biscuit, and it's a shit bourbon that just needs to get in the fucking sea. And you see
Nope.
like fancy cheesecake places. Oh, have our Oreo cheesecakes? No, fuck off. Oreo milkshakes? No, disgusting. I was in Seoul, right, in a street food street where they do loads of things on sticks and really really good food. They had Oreo churros and it
Oh,
was
can I just say, you even
awful.
say it wrong.
Oh, I don't care.
Oreo.
I don't ever want to say it again. I don't want to see it again. It's just American food that's made its way over because of big business
Why are
and
you
all
so angry
types of
about it? Why can't I sit here, because I do like Oreos, especially Dairy Milk Oreo. So why can't I just enjoy that and you just let me enjoy it?
no. Well, my point is they fucking suck, and it's invading things. It's just you go to a restaurant and they'll have
You don't
like
have to buy it.
Oreo cheesecake, but it's taking up the space of things that are actually good.
Yeah, but
And
would you
restaurants
eat
are seeing things,
everything?
with like cheesecake with chopped up Oreo on top. That's not a dessert. That's a shambles. That's a shocking excuse for pudding,
That's like me
and it can
saying,
go
oh, I
away.
don't like raspberries. Take that raspberry cheesecake off the shelf because I don't like raspberries.
Point is, it fucking sucks. Right.
I
And whilst I'm
disagree.
on the theme, I'm moving on to the next thing. So I do like to cook. I do like to kind of try new things, and I'm always looking on the internet for recipes. I've kind of got folders and folders, and like so much of the internet, I just find it so infuriating how many recipes are American. And
Oh, cups.
there's cups can fuck off. That's just nowhere near accurate enough. When you're doing things like baking and you need to get exact ratios, no good. You need to use grams and milliliters and all this kind of thing. And then I have to sit there and I have to kind of do equations before I cook dinner. Nah, nah. And then also in a lot of these recipes, they're just like, oh, use a jar of Prego sauce. What? Why are we talking about brands? Just tell me what the hell Prego sauce is, so I can find something that's sold here, rather than having to find a very specific brand. Things like, oh, just add 2 tablespoons of Cool Whip. What the fuck's Cool Whip? Just tell me what the item is. And also, opening jars isn't good enough for a recipe. If I'm happy to cook something, then I don't want to just stand there opening jars and cartons and packets. I'm happy to cook. I want to cook. But if you're telling me just to open cartons and tins as a recipe, there's normally a recipe on the back of the tin. I'm not going to be searching for you. And then it's a kind of an online thing. I understand, okay? I'll tell you why it's important, but I just want to find a recipe for a fucking cake. I don't want to hear about the time you nearly drowned when you were 5 years old, and when you're in the woods, you went out camping, and then you tripped over, but no family. Oh my god, I want to know the cake. I don't care.
You don't want the cake's backstory.
No, I don't
You don't
want
want
the
its tragic
history. I
past.
don't want to hear all this stuff. Now, I know it's important. So it's all to do with SEO because a recipe doesn't look like proper English. So you have to put in lots of text for web pages to pick it up. You also need to have that scrolling for them to fill out adverts. But oh my God, I hate it. It just drains me and I hate it so much. And just a
So what would you
better
suggest they
way.
do instead? To
It mo-
still make the money from the ad revenue, so it has to be scrollable, but what would you put in instead?
I can still hate it knowing that there's no way around it because the way around it would be to rewrite the internet, which is a little bit outside of my remit. I'm pretty good at things and I can ask for a lot, but rewriting the entire function of the internet is something that I just don't think I could do. And then whilst it's still one more thing on recipes, something I've noticed recently, I've just picked up a few recipes and there was a pasta dish I cooked earlier. Assorted herbs. Scatter some herbs if you like. What? No, that's not what herbs have very unique, very different flavors. If I was cooking, kind of like a cheesy fish dish and I put some coriander on it, they would completely change the flavor profile. If I was cooking some roast potatoes, you want nice rosemary on there. But I've seen so many recipes recently that's just like, no, I just had some assorted herbs. What? No, no, that's an awful thing because you could just
So one
completely
might
ruin it.
one might argue if you know herbs well enough to know that something will ruin it, then surely you know which herbs are going to complement it. And
Maybe there's a
therefore
flavor
you need to
profile I
use your
haven't
own
tried.
knowledge.
Maybe there's a
Want the
mix.
recipe to hold your hand?
Yes, that's the reason I'm looking up a recipe. They just go assorted herb. That's horrendous. And then I have already mentioned it, but just to put this quite bluntly, people who don't like coriander, your bloodlines are weak, and you're gonna selective breeding. You're gonna be out of the gene pool soon. So sorry, but bye bye. So
What if
just
people are allergic to coriander?
different from having the gene thing. So very very different. So just going to point out, I'm not talking about cilantro because that's nothing. I'm talking about coriander. So coriander implies the whole plant. Cilantro is just the leaves and stems. But coriander is actually using the scientific Latin name. So you know what? Coriander's right. So cilantro can fuck off as well. And I was looking up, and basically the stats are it actually varies by ethnicity. So it's definitely a genetic thing. But between 3% and 21% of the population taste coriander as a dish soap and don't like the taste. You're just weak. Just no, go away. You're not worth it. And
But
then
then again, 21% of the population is a chunk.
it's wrong. So, and then
That's a chunk.
my last one is probably I'm going to finish on another quite controversial one. Pepperoni is a completely overrated pizza topping, and I don't want it. I never actually want a pepperoni pizza. So it's somehow become the absolute default. I don't even know why, but if you went to a party and they had some pizzas, you probably have some, like 2 margaritas for the vegetarians and 4 pepperonis for everyone else, or something like that. Why? Pepperoni is disgusting. When it's cooked, it goes into an orange, greasy mess. It's a really cheap, nasty cut of meat that varies completely by where you buy it from. So some of the brands that are available versus kind of a local stores, quality completely different. It tastes gritty. You've got that horrible oil on there. Foul, absolutely foul. Now, there are some other pizza toppings that I hate even more than pepperoni. Pepperoni is okay on a meat feast. I'll say that it's okay. It's not what I look forward to in it. The worst pizza topping is sweet corn because it completely ruins a pizza and it's a bitch to pick off. At least with other items, they're much easier to pick off, but that's the worst. Second worst, pepperoni. And for some reason, it's a standard, but it's just awful and I hate it.
So tell me, if you despise sweet corn on a pizza so much, why on earth would you eat a pizza with sweet corn on it?
A lot of local places, they'll almost have like the so and so special, and it'll be kind of like a mix of all different things. And quite often, it will have sweet corn on there. I'm also one of those people that I'll trade pizza because pizza it's a food where that's completely the same for your entire meal. I like to kind of mix up flavors a bit whilst I'm eating. So I'll say to people, "Oh, do you want to go swap 2 slices or something like that?" Pepper, as soon as it's got sweet corn on it, nah, not doing that.
Well, just don't eat it then. I agree with you in one sense. I mean, pepperoni certainly isn't my default. I'm a very boring non-vegetarian, but I still go for cheese. I love a margarita, but it doesn't offend me. Like if someone passed me a pepperoni or a sweet corn piece of pizza, I would eat it. It's not an issue. Or if I didn't
Mm.
like it, I'd just say no thanks. I feel like it's a simple solution, Kat.
All right, well, if it's got a sweet corn on it, I'm not eating it, or depending on where I am, I will sit and just out of spite pick off the sweet corn. But they make that a challenge because it's so small and it's normally under the cheese, so I will
Do
do
you
it.
like sweet corn?
No, but it's also a
Not
pain
at
to get off.
all.
No, and I can't get it off over I can't get it off of pizza easily. But pepperoni is just a kind of if you right imagine a slice of pizza right now, and you bet you're imagining that kind of that triangle with kind of like 3 bits of pepperoni on it. It's just what people expect for pizza, and it's like what is so good about the pepperoni marketing that it's taken as the kind of default. It's just like no,
Once again,
come on.
I say to you, clearly pepperoni is one of the most popular pizzas, and that's why they sell it, and that's why it's the default option for everybody. Just because you don't like it doesn't make it bad.
But because it's that default, if I go somewhere and someone's like, "Oh, hey, I've ordered a whole bunch of pizzas," I'm gonna have a greasy, oily mess in my face. And there's so many better options out there. There's so many better options, but no, we're left with pepperoni.
Okay, to finish, what is your go-to pizza?
Probably ham and mushroom is quite an easy choice, but I do change it up quite a lot. I do try different ones. I will have different things, but a kind of a basic one that I know I will be happy with is a ham and mushroom.
Do you feel a lot better now that you've got that off your chest?
No, because it's not going to change anything. And I'm still going to have to keep scrolling to read about a cake or a casserole or something.
My heart bleeds for you.
Thanks for your time anyway.
You're welcome. I
I
hope
mean,
I
I
was a
have ranted
supportive friend.
something like that. Now, I have ranted before. I did have my rant about Funko Pop, so if you missed that, you can view that here and give us a subscribe and be able to find out when I put more rants.
See you
Speak
next
to you
time.
later. Bye.
Bye.